I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. You can see the poster right there. You can buy the books anywhere, audible.com, Barnes & Noble, amazon.com. Anywhere that books are sold, really. It's out there. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Jack Carr's The Terminal List. Now, I bought this book right here when it first came out several years ago. The first week it was out, I saw it in the Barnes & Noble, and I thought it looked really striking, a really striking cover. And so I opened it up. I saw that the guy lived in Park City, Utah. Hey man, I live in Utah. I figured why not support a fellow citizen of Utah novelist. So I got the book and I read it and I loved it. You know, this has happened to me before. I remember when I first came across The Lions of Lucerne might be Lions of Lucerne, Switzerland, by Brad Thor. Same thing happened. I opened up the back of the book. I saw the guy was from Park City, Utah, a thriller writer. It's like, hey man, I'm going to buy the book, support the guy. I even went to one of Brad Thor's first ever book signings at the Barnes & Noble in Sugar House, Utah. I was the only guy that showed up. I was the only guy that showed up to Brad Thor's book signing. He was a brand new author, you know. Now you'd probably have a line out the door and down the street for Brad Thor book signing. But back when he first started, no. So you know, now we've got another thriller writer, Jack Carr, out of Park City, Utah. I don't know what it is about Park City that produces some of the greatest thriller writers in the world, but it does. I mean, I live in Draper, Utah, and Draper's produced one of the best fantasy writers in the world. Just has. Anyway, I like to support my fellow Utah authors. That's the thing. That's why I picked that up. Loved it from the get-go. And then I kind of didn't read anything else by Jack Carr until I saw that his third novel had come out, and so I just ordered them. A couple weeks ago, I ordered the third novel and the second novel from Amazon.com, and it was part of a huge order. You notice I got 2 copies of book number 2. I ordered like a couple $100 worth of books on that order, and when the order came in, I saw these 2 copies, and I was like, oh, they made a mistake. They sent me an extra copy of this book, and then I went back and I looked at the order, and I realized I had accidentally ordered 2 copies. So rather than return the one for a refund, I don't return books. You know, if Amazon.com sends me a damaged book or whatever, I just order another book. I keep the damaged one. And what I do is I donate the damaged books to the Utah State Prison, where I work. And so the extra copy here is going to be a prison donation. One of the reasons I do that is because, you know, I don't want to return the book, and, you know, that's not good for the author's sales. I mean, I don't think one returned book isn't going to hurt Jack Carr any in sales, but, you know, it's the principle of the thing. And the extra book goes to a good cause at the prison, and I got the money to afford that kind of thing, so I don't really care. It is what it is. 2 extra books, one of them's going to the prison. Prison donations. People, if you have extra books, donate to your local prisons. We need the books, we need the donations. If you've watched Shawshank Redemption, you know what I'm talking about. Andy Dufresne, that's what he did. He got prison book donations. Let's talk about Jack Carr and The Terminal List. Like I said, I read this a few years ago when it first came out, loved it. In fact, it reminded me a lot of Brad Thor, who I've already talked about. You know, it's about ex-military or current military guys that just become badass spy, you know, thriller, you know, guys. You know, they become like Jack Ryan. They become like James Bond. They become like Jack Reacher, you know, all of the above. And The Terminal List with Jack Carr, his main character is a Navy SEAL named James Reese. I do spoiler-free reviews here, so as I talk, just know that I'm not going to be giving away much of the plot or any of the ending or twists and turns. This is just a general plot outline. Not even that. It's just like a, hey man, this book is awesome. Please read it. So James Reese is the main character. He is a Navy SEAL. He's got a tumor in his head, or so we think it's a tumor, because we can't trust the government in this book at all. And this is one of the reasons I love this book, is because, you know, Jack Carr is a Navy SEAL himself, or a retired Navy SEAL, or something like that. And you can tell that he's a boots on the ground type military guy, and so is his main character, James Reese. And I'm telling you, I can relate to this because I work at the prison, and I know what it's like to just be frustrated with upper management who's never worked at the prison making decisions that don't make sense, making your life more miserable. You know, the inmates never might make our lives miserable at the prison. It's always those, you know, the warden is cool, the deputy wardens are cool, the warden on down in rank, they're all cool. It's the administrators that are appointed by the governor that really, really frustrate all the employees. It's just the way it is. And you can tell that Jack Carr feels the same way about the upper crust of the military and the internal affairs of the military, and all of the people that have been appointed in high positions in the military that have never really fought in a war or really had to lay their lives on the line or really get into the nitty gritty and dirty parts of what military is about. And I love that about this book because he explains in pretty good detail a real military man's, a real Navy SEAL's frustration with dealing with corrupt and stupid upper management. And I think we can all relate to this. I don't think you even have to be a prison guard or a Navy SEAL to relate to this. And so it makes the character of James Reese relatable right off the bat. And like Brad Thor's Scott Harvath, you know, James Reese is an extremely deadly trained killer. And he knows all the weapons, and just like a Tom Clancy book, you know, Jack Carr, he gets into all the weaponry, he gets into all the military jargon, he tells you how it is. In fact, a lot of the book is redacted because he had to have it screened by the military for, you know, so military secrets weren't accidentally put in the book. And so all the redacted areas are marked off in black strips, which I thought, hey, I want to know what that is. I want to know all the redacted parts of the novel. There's not many, but it's still kind of an interesting thing. And, you know, like the Scott Harvath character in Brad Thor's books, this James Reese guy, military man, knows all the military jargon, can kill, you know, a trained killer, a trained Navy SEAL. Where I think this differs from the Brad Thor books is, you know, I think it's a little dirtier. I think it's a little grittier. I think the main character is a little bit meaner and a little bit more upset, a little bit more dangerous. And I think that stems from something that happens at the beginning of the book where he, you know, the focus of the book is he's gone on a military mission, and somehow the military mission has been sabotaged. And he knows it's been sabotaged by upper management. And his entire platoon of Navy SEALs is killed, all except for him. And then when he gets back, the government tries to cover up this sabotage, and they try to do a hit, like an assassination attempt on James Reese and his family, but they only kill his family. So he's left alive. And I think that, oh, the cat just went up and is probably going to knock everything off the shelves down on me. Anyway, so it's a much more grittier version than what Brad Thor's doing. Although I love Brad Thor, I've got all of his books. I think this is a better debut than The Lions of Lucerne. I think that Jack Carr is going to be the next big thriller writer. I think he's well on his way. I think this is going to be like, you know, Lee Child's Jack Reacher, or anything by Robert Ludlum or Brad Thor, or even Jason Matthews, who did The Red Sparrow. These are great. This is great. This is great. I read this one. I just reread it this week because I want to get to books number 2 and 3 here and also review those for my channel. So I recommend, if you love hard-hitting action, blood and guts, twists and turns, action thrillers starring a kick-ass Navy SEAL with an attitude who's on a revenge mission, The Terminal List is where to start. It's a good debut from Jack Carr, my fellow Utah, fellow Simon & Schuster author. I mean, this is published by Emily Bester Books, an imprint of Simon & Schuster. I'm with Saga Press, an imprint of Simon & Schuster. I want to promote other authors at the same publisher that I am with, and I also want to promote other authors from Utah, Park City. Jack Carr, good job. This is a great book, people. And look at how Simon & Schuster, look at these covers. These are all just great covers. These will get your attention. I love this. So I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. I rank things 1 out of 10. This is a solid 9 out of 10. Great action-packed, rated, R-rated, punch you in the mouth thriller with a kick-ass Navy SEAL protagonist. Can't go wrong, my friends. Can't go wrong. Get The Terminal List by Jack Carr.